I want to talk to you on how to make specific knife cuts. First off, the reason we make specific knife cuts is for a couple different reasons. One, uniformity looks nicer and is more appealing when you see a dish. And then another reason is because it allows the product, whatever it is, vegetables or fruit, to cook more evenly. So we always aim to have the pieces the same size and the same shape. I'm going to show you first on the potato how to make a bâtonnet. Bâtonnet reminds me of a French fry. It's 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch by 2 inches. So I've already squared off my potato. I want to start by making my cut at about 1/4 inch. This potato has seen better days. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. And now I have more manageable product. I then can, if I want to, square it up a little bit further. This potato is a little bit sad. Maybe I'll discard that one. I'll show you on the best slice. So I can square off the top, just barely wasting any product, just a little bit. And I could always use that later in something else. And then I want to make another 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch cut. So that is how you make a bâtonnet. 2 inches, 1/4 by 1/4. From my bâtonnet, I can make a couple different cuts. So I could take the bâtonnet and make 1/4 inch pieces, like so. That would give me a small dice. If I had taken a larger section of the potato and cut it, then maybe I would end up with more of a cube shape, which is about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch cubed. So either way, it's a cube. This I would probably call a medium dice. From there, I could take my bâtonnet and I could actually cut it in half. So if I take my French fry, if you will, and cut it in half again, and then in half the other way again, I'm left with a 1/4 by 1/4 inch piece, and this is what's called a julienne. I referenced earlier, it kind of looks like a fajita veggie. So julienne piece. From here, I could break this down further into tiny cubes, and that is what's called a brunoise, a 1/8 by 1/8 cube. So we have a variety of sizes for our produce. We have a cube being the largest, and that could be anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch cubed. Then we have our bâtonnet, which is 1/4 by 1/4 by 2 inches. Cut that in half twice, and you're left with a julienne. Cut a brunoise, a bâtonnet down into cubes, and you're left with a dice. Cut a julienne down into cubes, and you're left with a brunoise. So really, by starting off in a bâtonnet, you can get a variety of different knife cuts. I'd like to now show you a couple different knife cuts on different produce. So I've shown you how to make a cube, how to make a dice, how to make a bâtonnet, a julienne, and a brunoise. So another kind of fun and easy one is a rondelle, which is really just a coin shape. And whatever you decide, just make sure your thickness is the same. And I'm kind of doing it in slow motion, but again, you can use your rocking motion on this product once you kind of figure out your diameter and how thick you'd like your rondelle to be. You can also do a half rondelle or a half moon shape. If you break down your product further, you could cut it in half and have a half moon like so. Another very common cut that you'll see in culinary is a mince or a chop. So a chop and a mince are rough cuts and often use the cross chop method to make the pieces uniform in size, but not necessarily the same shape. So it's less accurate, but it's still good and used a lot of times with onions for chopping, or minced garlic, minced onion, minced jalapeno. And oftentimes you mince something that you want the taste to be very mild and scattered throughout the dish. You don't want to have a giant bite of garlic or a giant bite of jalapeno, so we mince it. So let me show you how to chop and mince. So here's the onion I began to break down earlier. I'm going to continue to cut it like so. And then after I've gotten the usable product, I'm going to cross chop it to create that chopped onion. So this is a chop, but then if I wanted to take it further and want really tiny pieces, I would continue to cut and to cross chop until the pieces were very, very small. And you want them to be, like I said, uniform in size. You don't want to have one giant piece. They're all cut up nice and small. So this is what you would call a mince. A few more examples I'd like to show you is how to dice a tomato. So I've taken the tomato, scooped out the center after I cut it longways, smashed it flat, and am now going to cut on the non-skin side, the inside, into strips. If I wanted to dice my tomato, I would start off with about 1/4 by 1/4 strips, turn the product, and then continue to dice my tomato by cutting it into 1/4 by 1/4 squares. So that is how you dice a tomato. If I wanted even smaller pieces, I would cut my strips smaller first and then turn it and make a brunoise. Now I'm going to show you how to break down a carrot. So I've already squared off my carrot. Again, I can start by cutting it into, carrot's a little harder to cut through, 1/4 inch slices, and then again cut it into additional slices, turn it, and if I wanted a diced carrot, I could do this. If I wanted more of a bâtonnet, I could leave it in this shape. If I wanted a julienne, I would take it and cut it in half 2 times to get a smaller cut. Finally, I'm going to show you how to cut a pepper. So I've already broken down my pepper. I then use my guiding hand, and peppers are nice for julienne, and you can really use that rocking motion once you kind of get set. The last thing I'd like to show you is how to cut a leafy herb in what's called a chiffonade. So first you want to break it down, take the leaves off the stem. I'm using cilantro for my example. And get the stems removed as much as you can and put those in your scrap bowl. I'll just show you with a few. Make sure you're keeping your cutting area safe and clear. You're then going to roll your herb up into a tight kind of wrap or pile. And then after you roll it, you cut it like so, making little thin strips. By rolling it up, I cut it hundreds of more times than I would if it was flat, and it allows you to get a smaller product. And then you can even further break it down or cross chop to get a smaller cut if desired. So that's how you do it.